Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Sir Tommy P., Defender of the Faith.
And I am Hempress Emily M.
And we are the Nephilim Murder Crew.
Good evening.
Good
everyone.
evening. It is Sunday evening. That means it is another Catholic Chats episode.
Yes.
Yay.
Catholic-centered content, as to not offend anyone.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I'm doing my best.
Yeah, so we got some things on the list tonight. There's a thing floating around X that we feel like we need to address.
Yeah.
And then today was our first day of RCIA.
Yes, it was.
So there's that, and
we'll share a little bit about that.
Yeah. It's and that's about all we got, really.
Yeah. Not much going on.
It's not going to be a really long show.
No.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I will say though, compared to the last 2 weekends, this weekend felt nice.
It did, yes.
Yeah,
this was
the
a
last
nice weekend.
Last 2 weekends in a row were just not. I just felt like I got no rest. I was more tired after the weekend than I was from a week of work.
You were from the week of work, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you there.
I didn't even make it on last Sunday because of that.
Right.
But no, this weekend was good. We went out fishing Saturday.
Yep.
We left the boat at home. We strapped on our waders and went out on the river. Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, being in it's that time of year where you can put your waders on and not hate it.
Sup, Scotty? Yeah, no, it's definitely nice. It's been a while since we just went out and walked down the river, through the river, fish standing in the water. It was nice.
I hooked two and didn't manage to set it right, and one of them I had too much slack in my line, but they got off. But it doesn't matter. Somebody fell for it.
Right. Yeah.
I got to feel a little something. I was like, all right, they are in there.
Yeah, I got a decent sized bass.
Oh, and then your catfish.
And then I had a decent, I wouldn't say big catfish, but it
was like
big enough to clean and
one.
eat though. Yeah, catfish, and I caught a tiny little bass about yay big. I don't know how. On a streamer the size of him.
Right. That was the funniest part is when I knew what you had on and I looked over and I saw the size of fish you got and I was like, what in the
same size as the streamer I was using, yeah.
Like, that little thing was hungry.
Yeah.
He was like, I got it.
He was trying to chase off and thought it was another fish his size and was like, chase him off. I'm like, nope.
Nope. That was not a fin.
Yeah. So that was Saturday, fishing Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Today was 8 a.m. mass.
Yep.
Then we came back home for an hour.
Right at 45 minutes, yeah.
Yeah. Then went back to church for RCIA.
Yes.
And then instead of going fishing again, we decided to hop on a new motorcycle and go for a ride.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've taken her out on a ride.
Yes, it has been a while.
It's been a very long, actually out on a ride. You've been on the bike in the last few months, but hours on the road for a ride.
Right. Yeah. Being a parent limits your ability. Limits your ability to go do fun stuff like that. But since our child is on her own little vacation right now, it's nice. It's nice to be able to have the afternoon to go do that stuff.
Yeah. We were out for a few hours, took some back roads, wound up hitting old Route 66 for a while. Mm-hmm. Stopped by and saw a buddy real quick.
So there's no helmet laws here, so you can ride around without one. And I chose to do that. We both chose to do that today. Because, it's nice to have fresh air and there's nobody around and it's really low risk in the big scheme of things. So bugs don't feel great. But you know what hurts worse than bugs? Water, rain, raindrops, little sprinklet, BS misty stuff that you wouldn't even turn your windshield wipers on. That feels like a paintball to your dome. That does not feel good.
Yeah, no. To answer your question, and congratulations to your daughter with her 2 assists and the win.
Good job, sis.
And then we took my Road Glide. I have a 2020 Road Glide that we were out today, and then I also have an old Ironhead that I've had for since I was 18, so for 30 years or whatever now almost.
Right, and before that, his dad had it.
So. Right, yeah. So,
it's a bike that's as old as he is.
Yes, we are a Harley Davidson household. That's what I was raised. I've ridden plenty of other bikes and owned plenty of other bikes over the years, but I've always had a Harley also, and it's at my age now. That's what I enjoy riding. I don't need to do 180 on a sport bike because I can't stop myself from doing it. So
yeah,
I was probably about 29, 30 when I had my last sport bike. I had an R1 and I couldn't not do 170 miles an hour everywhere I went. And I was like, nope, I'm done with
Just
this.
don't need this.
No, I'm going to 85 cruising on my Harley is good enough.
Yep, that's good enough.
So,
yeah.
So we got sidetracked there with motorcycle talk. But yeah, so
Right.
we went for a ride today, had a great day, beautiful weather. It was overcast, cool.
There was a little bit of the painful rain, but for
a minute.
it was not long. It was not anything. It was just enough for it to be a nice reminder to me that, hey, sometimes you just wear the helmet.
Yeah.
That's really what I took from it. I was like, oh yeah, that's why we wear these.
Yeah.
It's not just, for the safety aspect. It's to keep like the bugs from hitting you in the face. It's like to keep the water from, and then also your face doesn't do that dog thing.
Yeah.
Mine does. It's funny. I can feel it happening. I crack up. I was like shrink down and look in the rearview mirror.
Yeah. And then we stopped at a little dive bar for late lunch when we were done riding. It's been a while since we've been out to a good dive bar.
Yeah. It happened to be their, what was it, 12th anniversary of being open?
Yeah.
So, and they had like some live music on a flatbed trailer. That was cool.
In the parking lot. Yeah. It was really cool. Just dive
nice,
bar, rednecky kind of.
It was a good spot.
Made me realize I enjoy being around those types of people.
Yeah.
It's
normal folks.
It's the places we used to hang out years ago,
Yeah. That's true.
And yeah, it just made me realize like I'd much rather be around that type of people than like the other engineers and stuff I work with, and like that class of people.
Yeah, the gastropub people.
Yeah. I'm much more comfortable around the farmers and the blue collars.
Yes.
I guess because that's how I lived my life, up
Right.
until a couple years ago.
Yeah, it's yeah, that's probably mostly it.
Yeah. So.
Because those are the kind of people I relate to as well. When I'm around the gastropub type of people, I'm like, ooh,
Yeah.
I know I'm not like you. I know that this is not gonna go very well.
We don't have very many things in common.
This is gonna be small talk and weather and sports ball, and I just, this is gonna suck. But normal people, you just talk about dogs and whatever is on the TV or nothing. You just do a
right,
nod and a wave, and that's good enough.
Everybody's enjoying the weird combination of like bluegrass, classic rock.
Just
little old lady picking on a banjo.
She was pretty. That was pretty impressive.
That old lady on the banjo was freaking awesome.
Yeah, I would. I kind of wish I would have remembered what her name was. I'm sure she has a interesting story.
Yeah,
probably on a bunch of records or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Back in the day,
she was a hell of a banjo player. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
So okay, so enough of our weekend.
Chit chatty bullshitty.
Yeah, that brought us to where we are now.
Yes.
And I replied to Scotty with his 82 Yamaha XJ. As long as you're on two wheels and you're having fun, bud, that's all that matters.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, I gave up on being a bike snob years ago. I used to be that, if you're not riding this kind of bike or that kind of bike, like, what are you doing, man? Like, I gave up on that stuff a long time ago.
Yeah, it's not, I don't know.
Anybody on two wheels that's having a good time is all that matters.
Yes. My only thing as far as the two wheels go is if this is something that you have done for a long time, keep doing it. Enjoy it as much as you can. However, if you're my age, like 34, if you're over the age of 30 and you have a wild idea to do this, don't do it. Don't do it. You ain't got the reflexes for it. You do not have like your body ain't at a place to learn new things like that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
You spent when you're young. Like, I don't know. I learned.
What you learned when you were like a teenager.
Dirt bikes.
Yeah.
I learned when I was a little kid, but riding dirt bikes, and you fall and break a lot of things, especially on dirt bikes. Trying to do dumb shit.
Yeah, no. If you're a whole grown ass David Leanne Corbo man, 30 years old with a wife and a child, thinking of like, I want to be a motorcycle. I saw Matthew Rife has a motorcycle, and Tom has a motorcycle, and Scott has a motorcycle, and all these cool dudes have motorcycles. I should get it. Don't do it. You're too old. You're too old.
It depends on the person.
You're too old.
No, people. If you're somebody who can get on it, be cautious and just ride. Like, you're fine. You're going to get hurt at some point. Everybody's going to go down at one point or another.
It's gonna happen.
I've gone down more than a few times. I've got lots of titanium in my body to prove it.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. Certain people at a certain age can pick it up at a late age. But I don't know, man. It's kind of like being a race car driver.
Yeah,
Um,
that's ultimately what I equate it to. Is
like
like
if
you
your
don't
if your
have
parents
those
didn't have you on a go-kart at 6 years old, you'll never be a race car driver. I'm sorry. That's
facts.
that's the facts. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Fresh Mike, what's going on, buddy?
Good evening, sir.
Good to see you. Yeah.
Little cafe racer. That sounds super fun.
Yes, I've been wanting to build.
Yeah.
Brendan's got that stuff in my ear because he's got that old
He's got the old one.
he's
yeah.
got that one old BMW and the Kawasaki that you know
Yeah.
he's working on. But
Well,
yes, cafe racers are definitely cool.
Yeah, they are cool.
I'm thinking about. I'd like to get an old Triumph actually.
Mm.
I'd like to get an old Triumph and
Old ones.
yeah.
Yep, not bad.
So anyway, wow, we got way off topic this show already. This is Tom and Emily's motorcycle hour. We're gonna talk about all things motorcycle.
Whatever. It's only been like 8 minutes.
Oh yeah,
minutes.
okay, 12 minutes. Yeah,
12 minutes. It's not even that bad.
12. Yeah, we can go at least 15 before we get to the point, right?
Oh, come on. Let's not do that.
Where do we want to start? Do we want to just get the
We'll
big
just-
nothing burger out of the way?
Yeah, we'll just go straight into September 29th is the feast of...
Oh, I was going to talk about RCIA first.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. We could do that.
So
The Big Nothing Burger.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Okay, never mind. Sorry. Misunderstood.
So, today was our first day of RCIA, and we all introduced ourselves to each other.
Yes.
That was it.
The one saving grace for the having to introduce yourself mix up that I appreciate she did was instead of going around the room, like table, because you're all sitting at tables just like a conference style. And instead of going one by one, it was like by birth month.
Yeah, so she'd pull a random month out of a jar and who was born in February and those people raise and then you just go, you guys introduce yourself. It was
Yeah.
I guess as far as introducing yourself to people goes, it was an interesting way to do it.
It was all right. It wasn't too bad.
Like 25 people in our RCIA class.
There's between 24 and 28. There's a little bit of an uncertainty on.
Oh, because a couple people were
3 or
missing the
4 of
first
them.
week, but are supposed to be here next week, something like that.
Right, yeah. And also like 3 to 2, at least 2 or 3 of them, it's unclear on if they're inquiring or if they are support people.
Ah.
So that's the...
Gotcha. Yeah.
So, but anyways,
roughly 25 people in our RCIA class. So it took an hour and a half for everybody. My name is so and so, and religious background, and my family, and what I do for a living,
for work, and our favorite ice cream flavor.
Yeah,
that's like the icebreaker question that was asked. That was
day one of RCIA.
Yep.
Although I did get a little bit of information there that I was happy to hear.
We did, yes.
Like a lot of the teaching is going to be done by one of the priests, either Father Adam or Father Nick. So that's good. One, you're not being taught by Susan from accounting that
right.
can interject her thoughts and personal preferences in.
Yeah.
And not necessarily teach you the Catholic faith, but her version of it,
Right.
Because that is one thing I was a little concerned about. I've heard horror stories from RCIA from people who've gone through them and like, oh yeah, we had some lady that was like all, basically kind of new age Christian, kind of like what you hear from Pope Francis lately, which I will touch on, by the way.
Yeah, we're gonna have
I will touch on that, but things like all religions lead to God, and some will tell you, oh, we don't do confession anymore, and things like that. You're like,
no, we definitely do.
Yeah. It's definitely a sacrament.
We couldn't get Father Adam to pop over to RCIA meetings because he was still taking confession.
Right.
So, it definitely still happens.
Yeah. So I've heard some horror stories. So fortunately, we will be hearing things directly from the priest, which I really appreciate because if I hear something that I know to be untrue,
right.
This is clearly the way Father Adam thinks, and this is the way this particular church feels. So I know that once I get done with RCIA, to not come back to that church anymore.
Yeah, unfortunately, this won't be the...
But since I'm already enrolled in RCIA here and I need to go through it to get catechized to be able to partake in the sacraments, I will
where we are.
Suck it up and just know that some of the things I'm hearing are not correct.
No. And we also haven't heard anything yet. So
yeah, exactly. I'm just saying, just in case.
Yeah.
I'm not anticipating. From what I know from Father Adam, I'm not anticipating to hear anything.
I'm not either.
That is going to set off alarms in my head going, this doesn't sound right.
It was very reassuring to hear that most of our stuff is going to be coming from clergy. And then the few bits that won't be are laity presentations. And these particular people of the laity that make these presentations have been doing them for 10, 15, 20 years. Like, this is their niche thing that they bring to being a member of the church. And I'm like, I can get behind that. I can get behind somebody who has this specific thing that this is the thing that they bring, not just Susan from accounting's opinion and interpretation on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So all in all, week 1 of RCIA, good. Went off without a hitch.
Yeah. So I would say successful.
Yes. And we also put in that we will be absent for the week of Bohemian Grove.
Oh, yes. Yes.
We were able to do that. So
So
but that doesn't mean we're missing church. We're definitely going to church that Sunday.
yeah. It's right next to the hotel we told y'all stay at.
If anybody would like to.
Not sure if that's the church we're actually going to go to. I have to look up and see what's up with them. But
we will. But out of convenience, we should.
We'll see. Well, it depends on what time. Because I've checked. There is a Latin Mass about halfway between the hotel and my parents' house where we're going to.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So we may, depending on what time the Latin Mass is and what time the first Mass is there, we may hit them both.
It would be nice to hit both, but if it's a choice between one or the other, I'm choosing Latin Mass.
Yeah.
You can go with, or y'all could go to the one next door.
Yeah, I'm definitely bringing a suit with me, so that I can attend church properly.
I'm pulling a Victoria Beckham and bringing my little black dress.
Yeah. So that was RCIA, and then the big one here, I'll let you lead off as you were.
Oh, yeah. The September 29th is the Feast of St. Michael. St. Michael the Archangel, if anybody is unfamiliar with him. He's the basically like the
Archangel, the protector
of God's army, the protector of the world.
St. Michael the Protector is all you need to know. Yeah.
Like we've got we
have the St. Michael prayer hanging right there.
Up until Vatican II, after communion, when you were, you walk back, you get back into your pew, you kneel. The prayer you're supposed to say after getting communion was the
St. Michael prayer.
That's just always what it was.
And then after Vatican II, they stopped saying the St. Michael prayer for some reason.
They stopped doing it as a whole, but they said, you should still do this.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, it's very much monkey see, monkey do. And if you have a bunch of people leaving the faith, and then you have a bunch of people who are doing something other than what everybody else is doing, it falls by the wayside, and people don't do it. People don't talk about it. They're ignorant of it, for lack of a better term. But that's,
So yeah, so I'm gonna go right to this post here. We'll just start with this.
Hello, Royal Deluxe on YouTube.
Yes. Are Catholics aware that St. Michael has been a major part of theosophistic doctrine for transitioning society into an age of Aquarius? Blavatsky, Steiner, etc. Catholics, do you have any discernment left? Can you not see when aspects of your own doctrine are co-opted to Luciferian ends? Where is the theological line delineating between Catholicism and Luciferianism? Your faith is being sublated into dialectical pantheism, evolving prenatalism.
At this point, I'm like, those are all words.
Yeah, I know what he's trying to say.
I do understand what he's trying to say as well.
By your own Pope's open admission and approval, not enough of you are discerning the wolves operating within your ranks too long. I will say this to this, because this is just complete nonsense.
Heresy.
It is. It's absolute heresy. First of all, I have a couple, I've seen a few reply tweets and stuff that explain it better than I could, but along the exact same things I would say. So I will show those. So Dr. Anthony Stein, I'm sure you've all heard us talk about here before. Who cares that some Satanists tried to co-opt St. Michael? They stole the Petrine cross, and midwits think that an inverted cross represents Satan instead of St. Peter. Actually, Christians know the truth, and it's absolutely true. Everybody seems to think the upside down cross represents Satanism.
Right.
It is the cross of St. Peter. Has been since St. Peter was crucified in 60 AD, 50 AD. Not, whenever he was crucified. He refused to be crucified the same as Christ, so he made them do it upside down. And the chair of 64 CE. So 64 AD. AD. We don't use CE in this house.
Okay. I thought it looked weird.
Yeah. The year of our Lord, 64.
My bad.
So anyway, yes, the upside down cross across St. Peter, that's why it is on the chair of St. Peter that the Pope sits in, who is the successor to St. Peter. It is nothing satanic.
No.
I hear idiots all the time, oh, the Vatican's satanic. Look at the upside down cross in the Pope's chair.
No, you're just ignorant.
Yeah, you're just ignorant because Satanists tried to co-opt that symbol in the 60s.
Right.
And now you're all dumb and think it means something it doesn't.
Yes. And that's the big.
And I'm not saying you're dumb. Most of you people, I hope, know better. But the majority of society is stupid. And they think an upside down cross is. But anyway, so they're trying to say the same thing about the St. Michael prayer. And then one of the best replies, honestly, is from Bree Solstead, who I'm sure you've all heard us talk about before. And I'll just show you her reply. Do you not understand that any entity can try to co-opt St. Michael, but it will never work? He cannot be anything other than what he was created by God to be, the protector. Y'all are Gnostic heretics, and that's basically what it comes down to.
What it boils.
It's all Gnosticism.
Yeah.
It is bullshit. You can't just say the St. Michael's prayer is now satanic because
some Satanists from the 60s and 70s managed to use it enough and bring it into the forefront because Catholicism has fallen to the background.
And also, let me point out another thing here from somebody.
Okay, bro. From 1886.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny because Pope Leo the 13th wrote the St. Michael's prayer as we know it today, because he was given a vision from God of basically the times we're living in now, and he wrote the prayer so people could pray it to protect themselves from the time we're living in now.
What we have going on, yeah.
My hair always looks like this, Ginster. I just always wear a hat.
Yeah, he just wears a hat.
I've not had any hair for years.
Nah. I found him that way.
Yep.
I like it.
So anyway, the Pope wrote the prayer and asked the faithful to recite it to protect themselves from the current time that we are living in. That he was showed from God.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden, in the time we're living in, people are trying to get you to stop praying it.
Seems mighty convenient.
Yeah, and then
seems almost like something the devil would want you to do.
Well, which comes down to this person's tweet here. Certain subsets of people on here big mad about Trump posting a Catholic prayer for protection. What else gets big mad at Catholic prayers for protection?
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at. These people are trying to get you to stop praying the St. Michael's prayer. You should probably be like,
And also these same people, but also in addition to the group that tells you not to pray the rosary.
Yeah.
Right? Like the two things that are believed to be the most powerful weapons that we have.
Against the demonic, yes. Any exorcist or real knowledgeable priest will tell you that the two things that demons hate the most are the rosary and the St. Michael prayer.
Yeah.
And you've got a whole bunch of people trying to get you to stop saying both right about now.
Right.
When things are getting real bad. Stop praying for protection now.
Yeah.
That's what they're telling you. Stop praying for protection.
And then also, lest we freaking forget, the FBI decided that they were going to pay attention to Catholics.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
They're going to approach priests and choir directors and ask questions of the Catholics. Be like, so who in your congregation do you think is a little too about it?
And that is kind of one thing I felt about Catholic, and I've kept myself from speaking of it for the most part. I have mentioned it here and there. But yes, one of the reasons why we came to the Catholic Church is also because, the government, the society as a whole are coming after even Protestants. They relentlessly attack Catholics.
Right.
The government relentlessly attacks Catholics. Everybody in society relentlessly attacks Catholics, not Christians.
Right.
Not
Catholics
Christians,
specifically.
just Catholics.
It's the most, I guess, consistently dogged on religion, and the one that also has the longest history and longest standing. It's the one that survives while everything else falls away and or just gets made up along the way. And that's where I settled in with it, is everybody is against it. And it's also the longest running institution.
If the government that hates you and is satanic is telling you to stay away from Catholicism and just go be non-denominational Christian.
Exactly. Doesn't say anything about any other, just don't be that one.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't
You should
know.
probably look into it, guy. I'm just saying. That's just me.
But then there's people out
I know.
there.
I know people have stumbled across that themselves
Yeah.
out there,
Yeah.
and have been like, huh.
That is.
I
a
just
weird
realized that the government is pushing me away from this one branch of Christianity
thing. Why would
that
that
claims
be?
to be the one true church.
Yeah.
You know, why would they be
Just,
doing that? Why is the government so interested in the Catholic religion? Or why is the government so interested in stopping the Catholic Church?
Yeah.
Not so much any evangelicals. They don't care about Life Church down the road or,
And the
you know, what are some of the Elevate Church and, you know, all these non-denominational strip mall
Disciples of
building.
Christ or
Yeah.
Seventh-day Adventist or Church of the Nazarene or literally any of them. Y'all know them. You drive past like 70 of them a week. But everybody else gets passed except for the Catholic Church. And it's not just really here in America. It's kind of a global thing because most Catholics are Catholic before they're anything else. Like they're Catholic
Yeah.
before they're American, they're Catholic before they're Brazilian, you know, because that's something that is a more valuable identifier to them.
I'll tell you right
than-
now, I identify as Catholic instead of American any day of the week.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
rather at this point. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I am ashamed of America and I love her enough to shame her for it.
Yeah.
But I will never leave her or betray her. But gosh darn it, I'm gonna tell her I'm disappointed.
Yeah. So Ginny brings up the Johnson Amendment is gone now. What gives them the power to harass Catholics? They're the government. They do whatever they want.
Yeah, they can.
Yeah.
If they think it's something worth doing.
I mean, the Patriot Act gives them the right to do whatever they want nowadays, to be honest.
That mostly.
And then Grey Pilled said, hey. So, hey, Grey Pilled.
Oh, hello, Jews.
How are you there, sir?
Thor 91, did we mention his Gnosticism?
No, he is right, though. Gnosticism is a plague everywhere these days.
Yeah.
Preterism seems to have died down a bit, but
it comes and goes.
It comes and goes. It has for hundreds of years.
Yeah. Well, I think that's just one of those things that you stumble into, and then you're like, I know a thing, and then you're like, maybe I don't actually know this. Let me shut the fuck up and go
The
away.
thing that really
And then
bothers
somebody
me.
else pops up with, I know a thing.
The thing that really bothers me is how many Protestant groups are Calvinists, like the Baptists and stuff. And like how anybody can look at Calvinism and then bash Catholics.
Calvinism is the one where your God either says you are good and
Yeah,
you'll go to heaven,
you're
or
predestined
you're
to be
shit
the
and it'll-
chosen, or you're not.
Nothing
Yes.
you do will make a
And you
difference.
also have to live like perfectly holy, sinless life kind of
Ah.
deal. And if you don't, then you're not one of the chosen.
and you're already playing 50-50 odds.
Right. So if you're a Calvinist and you go to church every weekend and you believe you're a Christian, you're still not guaranteed you're going to heaven because you may not be the elect. You may not have lived a sinless enough life.
Well, I think that's just cruel.
Yeah.
That's cruel.
Yeah. But Catholics who are like, hey, you should probably go confess your sins because that's what it says in the Bible.
Right.
We're crazy.
Yeah.
You know what? We're out of line.
Well, I tell you what, though, the biggest thing that I have come around on with confession is the parallels to talk therapy. Yes.
Oh,
Listen
yeah.
to me. Because there is a big shift that happens when you take something that's just you, right? Like, only I know I had cookies the other day. But then to tell someone else that, watch them receive that information, and then, you know, if it's worse than eating cookies, then to forgive you and absolve you and, you know, give you a way to make reparations, something like legitimately changes in your brain and rewires it in a way that either you don't want that interaction again. Like, I don't want to feel like that. I don't want to do the thing that's going to make me have to do the thing and say, ooh, I did it again.
Yeah.
And then you choose, like, in the moment, it brings you back to that, having to explain yourself. And then you're like, ooh, don't do that. So maybe I won't do this. And it's, I don't know. It's the when we stopped prioritizing being Catholic and going to confession, an entire market opened up.
Yeah. Therapy. Yeah.
Therapy and
Yeah.
psychiatrists.
Let me tell this
And-
terrible stranger how bad I feel about all the horrible things I've done instead of just going telling a priest and getting forgiveness.
For free.
Yeah.
They do it for free.
Yep.
All of you poors out there whining about how hard it is to survive, do you know what they do for free at church?
And if you live anywhere near even a tiny city, there's a dozen Catholic churches around with all different confession hours. Any day of the week, you can find a place to go confess your sins.
Yeah.
Go talk to, you don't have to confession. You can go talk to a priest. Actually, I want to highlight this. I missed this. Royal Deluxe, the Catholic Church is the only one open for me when I needed them. When I need them. And that's absolutely true. Me and Emily drive around a lot, go places. And lately we were like when we were in Pontiac, we
stopped
randomly wanted to stop and look at a Catholic church. And guess what, guys? The doors are unlocked.
Yeah, the door's unlocked.
Doors always unlocked at Catholic churches, 24/7.
Yep.
You can go in, you can walk in there, and you can kneel at a pew and pray. You can light a prayer candle and pray. You can kneel in front of an altar and pray.
You could just go sit in there and exist.
Yeah. You can track down a priest. He's probably in there somewhere if you want to talk to him. If you're having that bad of a day and you're just like, I need to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
You can walk in there and find the priest and just have a conversation with him. He'll be more than happy to talk to you for free.
Yep.
Don't need to pay for therapy from some person who voted for Biden.
Not only that, but they went to college and were taught the
whole victim mentality. Yeah, they basically went and got completely brainwashed in college about nonsense, and now you're paying them to brainwash you with nonsense.
Right, to validate your whatever it is you're going there for. And anybody who, I don't know, it's such a double-edged sword because a certain type of person can go to therapy, get what they need, and get the heck out. And then there's a certain type of person who goes to therapy for 20 freaking years.
And comes out thinking they're this huge victim of all kinds of stuff that never actually really happened to them.
Yeah.
And it's not their fault they're such a horrible person. They're going to continue to be a horrible person because they were treated badly by somebody or something.
Yep. And, that causes all of these other cascading things. And then that's a disservice to that person because I think that if you went back to a priest 3 or 4 times over the same nonsensical thing, I'm pretty sure there's a verse in the Bible he could give you for perspective to get you to get over it. Because, I don't know, there's a lot of nonsense, a lot of perceived victimhood and perceived, what am I looking for? Insult and slight and it's not. I mean, yeah, I'm sure it's not rainbows and butterflies and great, but it's literally not that bad.
Yeah. I'm missing a lot in the chat here. I just had to highlight one from Scotty.
Is it flying?
Scotty was saying that he's never been to a Catholic mass and he'd like to go with us.
Oh, yeah. I saw the one that he's something about getting dressed up would be nice.
Yeah.
Yes. Almost forgot about the Patriot Act.
Yeah, I can just forget about the Patriot Act.
How can we forget about the Patriot Act? We can't forget about that. It's terrible. And they renewed it.
Yeah, they renewed it with even more ridiculous leniencies for them to just do whatever they want. There's no more Fourth Amendment.
Yeah.
You got no more Fourth Amendment.
No. Who needs that?
You don't really have the Fifth anymore either, to be honest with you.
I was just about to say, in the way that they can use everything against you, you ain't even got the Fifth.
Nope.
You ain't even got the Fifth, because you accidentally self-incriminated March 13th of 2006 at 4:48 a.m. on a fucking Facebook post.
Right, yeah. Or in a private phone conversation they just happen to have an audio tape of.
They just happen to be hanging out.
Or some text messages that you sent that they just happen to have a copy of.
Or those burn after watching Snapchats that everybody and their mom likes so much. Now that there's commercials for them, that's another downhill slide in society I would like us to put as a benchmark. When they started making Snapchat commercials, something was up.
Yeah.
Even more up, especially since it was an app. In case anybody doesn't know, I'm about to ruin your day. If you have Snapchat, you're probably going to delete it after this. Do y'all know why it was made? I'll tell you. So that way college kids could send nudie pictures to each other and not get blackmailed later in life. And or if it does come out, you know who did it because it sent you a report when somebody took a screenshot. It was made to send nudes.
Yeah.
And you're on it.
It was also
streaks.
It was also made for people to be cheating on their spouses and their significant others so that they could have conversations with somebody that there's no
secret exactly. It deletes and it's all gone. And,
every message you send is gone in 10 seconds. You don't have to worry about your wife finding it later.
Well, with an app that started to send nudies, what good can come out of it?
Yeah, but those are the two main reasons it was started. It was it was for
messy,
all types of degenerate nonsense.
Yeah, but now we got kids using it to send pictures and videos to grandma.
Yeah, send pictures of their genitals to grandma.
I hope those.
I accidentally sent it to my grandma.
I bet you any amount of money that for sure has happened.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I guarantee you people have accidentally sent pictures of their junk to their parents and their grandparents.
Yeah.
It absolutely has happened.
No.
I mean, not in this house.
No.
But it's happened somewhere.
No, some idiot hit a to my story.
There was one other thing we wanted to talk about on Twitter. It was
Oh, good evening, Nancy. Good evening.
I already said hi to Nancy. What is wrong with you?
Oh, well, you said hi, didn't Sarah?
I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
No, I'm just kidding.
Nancy has a tendency to derail things. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, we should have Nancy on the show.
We should have Nancy on.
You want to come on the show, Nancy? She can't stay anonymous if she comes on the show.
Well, I mean, she doesn't like have to put her face on or anything if
No,
she doesn't want to.
You're one of those people, yeah.
She could pick like an avatar or something. We could run some witness protection for Nancy.
Right, yeah. Alter the voice and then blur out the face.
Oh, yeah, there we go. There we go. Yeah, like a real 60 Minutes.
Right, yeah.
Whistleblower.
Well, there's an open invitation if you ever want to come hang out, Nancy. I'll be the judge of that.
I was about to say, well, based on what I know of you, you seem pretty darn interesting.
Yeah, right.
And that's something interesting people say to not have to explain why they're interesting.
Right. Yeah.
We know.
Yeah.
Put a Nancy on.
Put a Nancy on.
Hilarious.
Yes, the Bill of Rights definitely disappeared.
Oh, yeah.
It may have even been sooner than that, to be honest with you. The further back I look in history, the more I realize, like, things weren't great in the 1800s. Things weren't great, you know what I mean? Like, from the founding, things were kind of shady and underhanded.
Yeah.
Like, very Masonic.
I also, in looking back, not long for the Dark Ages, but I understand why we had them.
Well, the Dark Ages weren't even really Dark Ages. It's just, honestly, that's another thing, if you really look into it, that was invented to hurt the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
Like, during the Dark Ages, when the Catholic Church was suppressing science and art, is when some of the greatest art and science was ever done.
Yeah.
It really was. The Catholic Church invented science. Some of the greatest scientists, some of the greatest scientific discoveries of all kind were made by Catholics.
Yeah.
In Catholic universities.
Yeah.
From literal priests that studied sciences.
The reason I said it that way is because I very much enjoyed that it was Catholic based and it was the Catholic Church and Catholic people making these things happen because they were able to, I don't know, organize around a common goal enough for a certain amount of generations that they had enough people to fill these vocations and enough of a diversity in mind and everything else. And we got all this great stuff out of it. But that was at the cost of, oh, Lord, fucknuts, not having anybody in his kingdom that was doing anything great and wonderful.
Yeah,
that came at the cost of, Baron What's-His-Face not getting the accolades.
Here's what I'll say. I've always heard both parts of the Middle Ages argument, the Catholic Church suppressing science and stuff and society, and I've heard the other, that it was actually the opposite, that it was one of the greatest times in society. But here's where I'm going with this. Okay, so when I first, I've always assumed, it's probably bullshit, about the Catholic Church suppressing everything, and it was actually the Dark Ages. And then you go to Europe. I don't know if anybody here's been to Europe. I've been to Europe, okay? And I've been to some of these beautiful medieval cities from the Dark Ages. Yeah. And it is the most beautiful architecture and the most stunning, we can't build stuff like this today.
No.
But you're going to tell me those are the Dark Ages.
Yeah.
When the Catholic Church was suppressing everybody, making them live like peasants. And
yeah, it was super terrible.
Yeah.
They really hated it. All they did was build beautiful structures.
Yeah, when you go to these beautiful cities and you're walking through downtown in the medieval section of the city and you look at all the plaques and you realize the year all this stuff was built and you go, wait a minute. I thought we were all peasants in muck sleeping with pigs in the Dark Ages.
Out your dead.
Yeah, with the Catholic Church suppressing all the art and science and we were all living in the darkness. And how can this have been built in that time? It doesn't make sense. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, a trip to Europe will really teach you about the Dark Ages.
Yeah. But that's something we can hope for in the next few hundred years is a bit of a renaissance of that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I'd love to see the buildings, like the Gothic architecture and stuff come back. We can't build it anymore. Nobody knows how.
I mean,
it's all been lost.
Somebody will figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, it can be done. If anybody wants to put time and effort and money into it, and I don't know. I don't see it coming back.
I got to get these young people about it. You want people to remember your name, Sonny? Build something.
Yeah.
Build something magnificent.
A cathedral.
Right, exactly.
That's what they used to do. I want my name remembered. I want to build a massive, beautiful church.
Yep. I mean, and it works because here we are hundreds of years later, and a lot of them are still standing there.
Okay, so
I'm gonna do this last.
Yeah, I want to talk about this. Transition.
A submission from Arcane Arsenal.
Yeah, something Arcane Arsenal tagged us in. Every time there's some Catholic controversy, he always likes to tag us in this stuff.
Yeah.
I don't mind.
Appreciate.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
So right here, it's Bishop Athanasius Schneider responds to Pope Francis' claim that all religions are a way to arrive at God, clearly against divine revelation, contradicts First Commandment, yada yada yada. So here's what I will say about the Pope. And what really infuriates me, I don't know. I mean, I have to assume it's done on purpose. But the Pope will go out and speak off the cuff in interviews and public speaking things all over the world and say ridiculous nonsense like all religions lead to God and clearly heretical stuff.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, oh, look, the Pope's a heretic. And how can you be Pope if you're a heretic? So when the Pope speaks like that, the Pope is just speaking freely as Jorge Bergoglio.
Right, yeah. It's like
He's
the
not Pope
equivalent
Francis.
of off the record.
Yeah, it's his either his personal opinion or things he wants to say, but it in no way encapsulates the Catholic faith, and it doesn't represent the Catholic faith, and it doesn't. So he's free to say this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I wish he wouldn't. But he is free to say whatever he wants, and it's technically not heresy because he's not speaking as the Pope. He's not speaking. He's not in a teaching manner.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when the Pope speaks ex cathedra, something like that, from the chair of Peter in a teaching role, which he has done many times in his role as Pope so far, he always teaches strict Catholic doctrine. The only way to heaven and to God is through Jesus. Confess your sins, yada yada. He says
all the right things.
He says exactly Catholic doctrine to the T.
Right.
So in contradiction to many things he had said a week beforehand, a lot of times,
Usually,
like a direct contradiction.
Yes.
And so I don't know if he does it on purpose to create confusion.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if it's that because when he is speaking from the chair of Peter in a teaching manner where it is considered infallible, maybe it's just the Holy Spirit will not let him.
Maybe.
And that is the whole point of when the Pope is infallible in these certain scenarios, and Francis has not said anything heretical in those scenarios.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's that the Holy Spirit won't allow him to.
Yeah.
Or if it's that he's purposely trying to sow division for some reason. I don't know what it is.
So,
but when he speaks in a way that the Pope is considered to be infallible, he speaks the truth.
Yes.
So when he teaches against homosexuality, he teaches against gay marriage and blessings, he teaches against other religions, he teaches against women ordination. He teaches against all these things in the chair, and then a week later he'll be out of the chair and he'll talk about, well, let's have a conversation about ordaining women, and all roads lead to heaven.
So
and, it's frustrating.
My understanding and workaround of the frustration of what you just explained is that slightly the Holy Spirit is probably not letting him do that.
Yeah, just won't allow him to
official role.
Teach heresy from the chair of Peter, probably.
But I also kind of view it as I guess the nearest thing to label it as would be like a code switching scenario where, like, when I'm speaking to my people, my Catholic people, when I'm addressing my, this is what we believe. This is how we operate. Y'all know what to do, right? But then when you're public facing, when you're world facing, you have to meet them where they are. And you don't want to upset these people. You don't want to really get these people mad. And my understanding of his statement of all religions lead to God is all of them will leave you hungry. All of them will leave you thirsty. None of them will quench the thirst the same way that Jesus will. And yeah, sure, you'll end up here eventually. It'll be a long road and it'll be confusing for you, but you'll get here. That's what I hear when he said, when I hear him say that, especially to the panel that he was addressing.
But part of his job when addressing the secular world is to evangelize.
Is to say that, sure,
that is part of the role of not only Pope.
You can feel that way, but
that's not only the role. like the role of the Pope is to evangelize.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's supposed to be out teaching the truth to the world, not meeting them where they're at. Like
That's
you can
what
meet
the
somebody
local
where they're at
parish
and
is for.
still teach the truth.
Yeah.
You know,
Love the sinner, hate the sin.
yeah, you can meet them where they're at and still tell them they're wrong.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No,
So-
I and that's where I'm like, mine is probably just like lady brain. That's just, and I think that that's as much as they don't want to admit it. The Vatican II was a more feminized approach to
Yeah.
yeah.
It's absolutely feminism.
Everything has been-
Trying to roll feminism into the Catholic Church. And they have been trying to do it since the 60s, and they've made little progress other than changing the mass.
They're trying to play mom when they should be playing dad and be like, no.
Yeah. And by changing the mass, they just made it easier for some churches to go off the deep end in that feminist route.
Mhm.
And other churches said, okay, we'll take your new mass and we'll make it very much like the old mass.
Yeah.
Like the one that we like at Sacred Heart.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, all right, fine, we'll do your mass, but
We're gonna do it in
we're
Latin.
going to chant certain things in Latin. We're going to chant certain things in English. It's going to be smells and bells.
Right.
It's going to be,
It'll be a nice hybrid. We're just doing it so we don't get fined.
yeah. So,
But
yeah, it is what it is. But yes, people out there that aren't Catholic that might not understand and probably don't look too much into it would see stuff like this and think, oh, the Catholic Church is changing their teachings.
Right, and that's not
And
the
that's
case.
absolutely not what's happening when it comes down to the actual teachings and what the Pope says from the Chair of Peter infallibly. He says all the correct things opposite of what he said last week.
Mhm.
You know, it's
It's and you know that I think that we've all have moments that we do that, right? Like if we're an aunt, I treat my child differently than I'm going to treat my nephews. I'm going to be a little bit nicer to them. I'm going to say things a little bit more delicately than I would speak to my own child, just because like that's my kid and her feelings get hurt. She's still going to do the thing she's supposed to do. I don't care. And that's the role of the Pope is it's a fatherly role. He's responsible for everybody.
yeah.
And yeah, it's I don't know. Did we even play the clip?
No, I didn't
Oh.
play the clip.
Oh, okay.
You want to play the clip? I'll play the clip.
No, not really. I mean, like we can. Hadley will be
Pope
home
Francis made comments at an
November
interreligious
3rd, November 2nd or November 3rd.
Number 3rd.
She's spending a good chunk of time with Grammy and her great grandparents, and then also my sister and her
Little adopted teen girl.
I
Wow.
mean, I don't want to call her my sister's ward, but
She's a ward, yeah.
it's kind of what I don't know. My sister semi-adopted like a teenager, and they're going to spend like 8 days. So she'll get to see. Hadley will have a good visit. She'll get to see everybody.
Yeah.
She gets to do Halloween with her cousins.
Yep.
It's free candy day. Yes, she did. She took her college geology book with her, and she took a book on the American Revolution, and she took some math with her. And I know that my mom will keep her busy doing other stuff. Sure, fun science lessons here and there.
All right. So let's see here with 2 minutes. We can watch 2 minutes of what Bishop Snyder said about this. Now Bishop Snyder is definitely anti-Pope.
Hmm.
I do like Bishop Snyder. He says, I mean, he's a true Catholic.
Right.
So he's digging into, it doesn't matter what the Pope says, whether
more
it's
of what
from the
the-
Chair of Peter, or whether it's anywhere, he should be saying the right things, and otherwise is heresy. And he is technically true.
Yes.
But for that Pope to be accused of a heretic, he has to speak improperly from the chair.
From the position.
So there's rules involved. And I'm always coming down on the rules. Like, I'm not saying that I'm not saying that I don't believe that the Pope is not a heretic because he said these things. I'm just saying the rules say he's technically
He's
not a
not,
heretic
yeah.
for saying these things the way he said them.
Well, and I think that it's important that those rules are in place so that way we do keep ourselves in check.
Yeah.
And also it keeps everybody else on the same page. Like we all know what the rules are.
Yeah, I'm not a fully catechized Catholic, so I don't even know all the rules. I can't make judgment.
Yeah.
Who am I?
Oh, that too.
You know what I mean? Like, I've said it many times on the show before. I can't judge the Pope because I don't know I don't know everything.
Right.
I don't know the full Catholic religion. I know some things that I've learned, and I'm learning a lot more.
Even if I did, I
Yeah,
don't think I would.
but yeah, Catholic catechesis is a lifetime journey.
Yeah.
You'll never learn everything there is to know about the church. You know what I mean? Like it takes years and years of study. kind of neat, actually.
Yeah.
Because there's so much history, 2,000 years of
endless,
history.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can
so
get
many saints and so many fathers of the church and church doctors, and it goes on. Yes. Okay, so let's view this.
Pope
don't need the
Francis
Marvel
made
universe when
comments
you're
at an
Catholic.
interreligious meeting last week that are still being felt. He said, quote, "Every religion is a way to arrive at God. There are different languages to arrive at God, but God is for all." Your Excellency, is every religion a path to God?
Such affirmation of Pope Francis, which you quoted, is clearly against the divine revelation. It contradicts directly the first commandment of God, which is ever valid. You shall not have other gods besides me. This is so clear. And such statement contradicts the entire gospel, where Jesus Christ said, "No one comes to the Father except through me."
That's a difficult thing to process, I think, for a lot of Catholics, Bishop, that, the Pope is saying something that runs counter to the first commandment of God. How do you reconcile that? How do you reconcile it as a bishop? How do you reconcile it as a faithful Catholic?
Well, God permitted that the first Pope, Simon Peter, he denied Christ, 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
And he was appointed the vicar of Christ. But Peter repented. And he again defended Christ and confessed him and gave his life for Christ as a martyr. And so in this case today we have to simply to pray for Pope Francis that he may receive this grace of the Lord as Peter received, to repent and to again clearly, courageously confess that there is no other name given to man in which they can be saved except Jesus Christ, the incarnate Son of God, the only Redeemer of mankind.
Okay. So that's put it pretty well, actually.
Yep.
Even Peter denied the Lord.
And Scott sent us a picture of his motorcycle.
Oh, nice. Where's that? I don't see it.
Is it under the message requests, maybe?
Oh,
Is it
probably.
showing- No.
No? I don't know. It's not there. I have to refresh my screen.
I was about to say it's.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
There it is, right there.
Oh, there it is.
There it
Yes. Oh, that's a cool bike, Scotty. That is a really cool bike. Everybody see, there it is. I definitely like the tail on that. It's a very cafe racer. Clip-on bars.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. I like the clip-on bars. I like the tail section. Like the seat's awesome. Yeah, that's a really cool bike.
Nice.
Also, Ginster, if you like Archbishop Vigano, you should check out Bishop Athanasius Schneider. He's got a lot of good things to say. Nice. No homo. I don't know if you'd consider her homo, Nancy, since you're a woman. At least I assume you're a woman. I could be wrong.
You have to throw in the no homo as a girl, otherwise you'll get unwanted advances. They'll be like,
Oh.
"Sup, girl?
I see.
Sup, girl? How you doing?"
Sup, girl.
Yeah, right. Hi. Hi. Hello, husband. How are you? Want to get off of this stream?
Yeah.
But yeah, we said that we'd wrap about 8:15.
Yeah.
I'm sure that we have like one more that we could do, and then
I was gonna show a picture of my bike if I can find it.
everybody can go check out what was it? Oh, Graypilled. He's got his cryptid watch. Oh yeah, Nance. I know how the internet works. Tommy doesn't, and that's okay. I
don't know how the internet
I'm
works.
his internet interpreter.
That post is probably so far back. Maybe next week I'll throw some pictures up.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Scrolling.
Yeah, right.
Scroll down.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. I'm just sitting here scrolling the internet, not talking to anybody.
Oh, the other thing that's on this evening, if you're not
Oh,
interested
duh.
in watching the Cryptid Watches, Rumble on Rumble over on PT Pod.
There it is.
They've got Kim Brooks of the Georgia Nerds on tonight. Oh, yeah, there
I
you
don't know
go.
how to make it bigger.
You could do the little mouse pad zoom in.
Yeah, there's my bike out here. It's my Road Glide. So
Road glide.
yeah, I don't have any pictures up of the other one, but
That's okay.
yeah.
Oh, the seat section you made yourself.
Oh, that's pretty
Nice.
sweet,
Always love good DIY customs,
right?
especially when they work out right.
Yeah.
The best.
So all right, well, I think that does it for Catholic Chats. It's been an hour, and I said we were gonna go 45 minutes. So
Father Malachi Martin. I will look him up, Nancy. I don't think I've heard of that book. I've heard the name mentioned, but I've never really looked at any of it. Art Bell. I'll listen to it this week.
yeah,
Thanks, girl.
absolutely. Sorry, let me up.
I should probably look and see if there are plans of a show tomorrow morning. I don't think there is.
Oh,
I know that Reef's he decided to go out to the mountains.
so are you gonna do a show by yourself tomorrow or no?
Well, I don't know. Okay. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah,
Well,
I
maybe
don't know.
there will be a morning crew tomorrow. Maybe there won't.
Maybe a morning crew. Maybe not. If there is, it'll be 6:30 Central, or whenever you get up.
Yeah. So okay, guys. Emily may be here tomorrow. We will definitely be here Wednesday for another Nephilim Murder Crew show.
All right.
Thanks for coming out. Everybody have a wonderful evening.
Go watch Cryptids with Graypilled.
Yeah.